Attention, Dragon Riders and movie fans. As of right now, tonight, I have seen How to Train Your Dragon, the live action 2025, 2 times now. And it's pretty good. Go watch it. Review over. You're good. Hey. Hey, buddy. What's up? So I saw it a few months ago in April when they did a nice little premiere at a local college. And then I just saw it tonight, the early IMAX showings at a AMC nearby. Okay, so I'm going to review it from here now. So this is Chance. This is my little buddy. I think he gives us 2 paws up. So I may continue the review with him in the video because he's just very nice. And guess what? Both times I did really like it. I am clearly a longtime mega fan of the franchise. But anyway, I wanted to go through a quick little spoiler-free review about whether or not you should see this movie, if anything is better or worse than the original, and pretty much anything you might want to know before you buy your tickets. This will be the video for you. So first things first, it was very faithful to the original. It was, I'd say, about 90% identical. And, that's not a bad thing at all. If it works, it works. So, if it did well, replicate it. And that's kind of what they went with, And this is the first time it's not a Disney live-action blockbuster hitting theaters. This one is DreamWorks/Universal. The main issue that a lot of live-action movies have is that it totally discredits the original. It will change things fundamentally that don't work, and much of the time it becomes a very insulting addition to the franchise. This is absolutely not the case. This movie definitely had some help due to it being directed by the original director and composed by the original composer, and they both have stated how they would not return to a franchise or do something unless they had the absolute faith in it and trust, which was a really good sign from day one. And coming from me, a huge, massive, crazy, colossal fan, I was always on board a little bit because of them. And since it is now released and I've seen it, I can tell you that they absolutely were in the right for it. This movie does not insult the original in the slightest. It sort of deluxeifies the whole thing by giving us a story that we know, and it'll take a few things out here and there, very minimally. One of them I will get to. If there's one area that this movie excels in over the original animated one, it is character interactions. This movie handles the father-son relationship between Hiccup and Stoic very, very well. This movie tends to shine a little bit of a light onto some characters that didn't get a lot of exposure in the original movie, like a little bit more on Stoic, a little bit more on Astrid, and a lot more on Snotlout of all people, which was a very welcome and fun dynamic for the movie. I was a big fan of that. On top of that, the movie had to do 3 really good things to ensure that it honored the original. In my opinion, that was the 3 biggest scenes. It was Forbidden Friendship, it was Test Drive, and it was Romantic Flight. And I think of all of these, Forbidden Friendship absolutely nailed it. That scene in this looks beautiful. Hey, Chance. It looks dynamic. It has all the same beats, all the same cuteness, all the same playfulness of Hiccup and Toothless hanging out. Yeah? What's up? As I said, perfect timing. But yeah, Forbidden Friendship is awesome in this movie. I both times just in awe at it. And then you're blocking the light. Hey, Snout. Oh. Test Drive is also really good. It's super hard to beat the original. I'm viewing it more as an alternative. Because the original is just. But Test Drive worked really well in the movie. It doesn't hold a candle to the original, but it is still a little bit equivalent for this movie as it is in the original, but nothing will beat the original. The original Test Drive is like cemented in history. This one has only been out for it's been out for like -2 days. The premiere is Friday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. So we'll see how it stands, but I just love the original's Test Drive. It does do a few fun things that it didn't do in the original, so it is a nice, refreshing take on Test Drive, but at the end of the day, I don't think it beats it. I think it serves its purpose and goes a little bit above and beyond, but if this one goes above and beyond, the original went above her and beyonder. So, yeah. And then the third scene, Romantic Flight, is also stunning in this. It is a very well done scene, and it is very pretty to look at, very pretty to listen to. Hiccup and Astrid had their same nice moments, but it is the only scene of the 3 that I think the original definitely does it better. If the original's at 100%, this one's at like an 75, 80, where I have almost nothing to complain about it. But the animated one just captures so many different colors and whimsy, and yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat it. And I cannot believe how close this movie got with so many other scenes. It was really awesome. There's a lot more backstory added to Astrid that also emphasizes certain lines in the movie later on, her dynamic with Hiccup. It's all really good. Her dynamic with Stoic is also another big thing here. Hiccup and Stoic have some of the best interactions in the whole film, outside of obviously Hiccup and Toothless. Their relationship is definitely stronger in this one actually than the animated one, which is very interesting. It also got so much consistent audience reactions out of it, specifically the scene when they're talking, halfway. The scene where they're talking, wow, there's so many of those. You know what I mean if you know what I mean. But there's some lines in there that really got people laughing, I love that. I love to see that. But, and Gerard Butler as Stoic again, obviously he hit out of the park. That was probably one of the best parts about the movie. It was awesome. But I also love Snotlout's actor. Him specifically. I remember people in the beginning when he got casted were giving him a little bit of an issue, being like, oh, he's too small to play Snotlout. Why? Snotlout's supposed to be like big and buff and all this stuff. I knew, hey, that rhymed. I knew that I had faith in him, and he was probably my favorite of the side characters' performances. Every line he had, nailed. Funny. Entertaining, his dynamic, awesome, didn't miss a beat. I really love his version of Snotlout. So that was really cool. All the side characters are really cool too. I was worried about some of them. I was worried about maybe Fish Legs. I've seen Julian Dennison in like Deadpool 2 and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I've seen him play that kind of character where he's like loud and obnoxious, and I was like, but that's not Fish Legs. Do I have faith in this? And I was scared going in, but he had probably, there were a few, every new line that they added was amazing. I really enjoyed every new line they added to the movie. That is a consistent thumbs up. And the jokes they added. Hey, coming back. Hey, buddy. This is my little Toothless. Isn't he so cute? But one of his lines is just really funny, and he. Hang on. It might be a spoiler. So, when I'm not wearing the Hiccup mask, the spoilers are done. So it's not a spoiler, but it could be a spoiler. So, now. There's a point where he cheers, Hiccup! And everybody was just dying laughing at that. So I'm really glad that some of these new iterations, these side characters, their added jokes and subplots and everything are getting a lot of attention. So anyway, yeah. And then the twins had some cool stuff to do, and again, their jokes all very funny, all very good. But yeah, I mean, I loved all the new additions to the characters and the roster and everything like that. The new lines they added, the new lore, the jokes, everything worked out really well and had an incredible audience reaction to it all. But one of the biggest things I want to compliment the movie on is just how good the dragons looked. At first, it was uncanny. I'm used to my original designs. I'm used to the uniqueness, the complexity of them all. And this one kind of changed some of that. Not in a bad way, just in a different way. Specifically like the Gronkle or the Deadly Nanner's eye placement or, so on and so forth. But they all were really great. Toothless especially. It's hard to translate one to one, but they translated him nearly perfectly. I have no true complaints, actually. I don't have any complaints outright. I think he looked great. There's even some scenes where when the light hits him just right and his scales kind of glisten like just really pearlescent. They're almost like a rainbow at times. And I thought that was really cool. Just the reflectiveness of the reptilian scales. Every dragon feels so reptilian in a very unique way, and I loved that. I loved that a whole lot. Even the monstrous nightmare, it flickers out its tongue, and it just, they all are so good. Not except, but the Gronkle is reptilian, but it's also like a bulldog. It's very funny, very cute. But the Deadly Natter, I was really hesitant towards it. I didn't really love the design. I was like, the eyes are kind of the wrongs, but all this kind of stuff. But in the movie itself, it might look the best within the movie, as far as uniqueness and like beauty goes. Its scenes look like it's all about the angle it's shot at. And I'm saying it like it's a real dragon. It might be. Who knows? But it's shot like it feels like a dinosaur. It feels like a raptor. It's got those like beady watching eyes. And it'll like look over. It's watching you. And it is done so well. All of my nervousness, all of my like, I don't know if I like that, wiped away in just one scene. The Deadly Natter just looks awesome, and it was really translated well into this live action format, and all of my complaints were out the window, and I'm very happy to say that. The Gronkle, while being a totally different creature, still works a lot, in a very different way. It's not the meat lug that we know and love, but this is a different meat lug, and she works just as well in a very similar, cute way. I never disliked the Grunkle's design. I knew it was different, and I had hopes that it was going to be like a nice one-to-one translation. And while it wasn't, I am very quickly accepting this new one. The Monstrous Nightmare as well has a more crocodilian type of face, but its movements, its tongue flicker, they're unmatched. It's still awesome. I realize as this goes on, this is way more of a spoiler-free video for the fans than somebody who just wants to know about the movie. So, I do apologize. You kind of knew what you were getting into. And I hope that I'm still appealing to somebody who's never seen it. If you're still lost by now, just go watch it. Go watch the original, go watch this new one, and then come back here. What else can I talk about that's spoiler-free? The Hideous Silverback, though. My favorite dragon. I am still hesitant towards. I feel kind of the same way, where I loved its nice bulbous head. I loved its, thin neck and everything. And it doesn't totally have that same serpentine feel. It's a lot more thicker and boxier. And I'm learning to like it a little more every moment. And its scenes are still pretty one-to-one. It's still a very cool dragon, but it doesn't have the same sort of appeal that drew me to it 15 years ago. So I'm probably my least favorite of the dragon designs in this one. But that's still not saying much because it is still very cool. Now I'll get into my complaints with the movie. And right now there's only three. There's only three. One of them is that the dynamic between Hiccup and Toothless, when I saw it the first time, I didn't feel it as strongly. The original does it perfectly. This one does it almost perfectly. It feels like they're missing like maybe a scene or two or something like that to just further their bond a little bit more. The first time I watched it, I felt like I couldn't connect to this Hiccup and this Toothless as well as I did the original. And I'm sure that still stands, but upon watching it the second time, I felt that a lot less. I felt the worry a lot less. I could feel their connection a lot stronger the second viewing. So I don't know if that's just me getting more used to it, or if it's just somehow felt better this time. Don't know for sure, but that's definitely something that I think the original one just does perfectly. So if they didn't do it one-to-one, that might be why. My other complaint is something that I hope gets better with time. They've already confirmed the sequel, so I hope that as time goes on, it gets a little bit better. And this could also be in my head. I have seen that original movie an infinite amount of times. I know every line, every delivery by heart. So hearing it here is a little bit jarring when I know how everything goes beat by beat. And then you'd be like, a word is different, or a joke is paced out different. Things like that. Pacing / delivery is my second issue. And again, could be just because I know it so well, but seeing it here is just a little jarring, and sometimes not what I expected, and not in like a better way, and like a kind of way. There's just some lines, one of them, and that's a serious line, got laughs. Actually, that happened both times with totally different lines, my first viewing and my second viewing. First one was one of hiccups. Second was one of stoics. It's not perfect. It's pretty good, very good, but it definitely could use some work. And so I hope that as the sequel gets made and everybody just gets older, more mature, gets more comfortable with each other, maybe that'll be a little bit better. But that is a minuscule complaint. It is done very well in every other point. And there are some scenes that are done really well, some scenes that can do some work, and these are all with various different actors. There's scenes of Gabber that I really like, and some scenes with Gabber that I'm kind of like iffy on. Same thing with Astrid, so even like one or two with Hiccup. I thought Mason Thames did great though. Him and Gerard Butler were definitely the highlights, which makes sense since they were the leads. But I really liked them. They were really good together. And solo. So that's a very good thing to say. But then my final complaint is one that features a certain scene that did not appear in the movie. There is one scene from the original movie that is Zippleback down. There is one scene in the original movie that is just not here at all, and it feels like a silly scene, but it is definitely crucial to the ending. And without mentioning anything else, I do think the movie needed that. Not only was it a beautiful scene for them to have confirmed to shoot, it'll probably end up in the deleted scenes on the DVD or something, but they definitely shot the scene, you know? It's even included in one of the kids' books at Barnes and Noble, where it's like, oh, there's that scene, but it's not in the movie. And that is my biggest critique, because it lays the groundwork for something that happens later on, and now that thing later on is just kind of like, oh, guess that just happens kind of thing. And that's the biggest issue I have with the movie, which is saying a lot of good things. So overall, I really enjoyed this. I think it is a very good addition to the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, the world, the lore. There are some things now that I've seen it multiple times that I have critiques on, where I'd think ooh, I wish they delved into that a little more. Or I wish that, things you get the implication of, but because this movie is now diving into certain things deeper, I'm now kind of craving ooh, go deeper into this, or go deeper in that way. And that's neither here nor there. That's more of my own thoughts. Overall, very good. I would give the movie, the live action one, because the OG animated one, I give 10 out of 10. It's literally one of my favorites. Top 1, top 2 if I'm putting number 2 in first place. How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, favorite movies of all time. So this is a high precedent for me. But for the general audience, absolutely go right in ahead. If you're a fan, also go right in ahead. You can just view it at, view it on its own. View it in comparison. Do whatever you can do to make you sleep at night. And it's very good, I think I'd give it between an 8 and a 9 out of 10. It's cinematically beautiful. The score is amazing as always, with elements from the other movies, which was really, really cool. Just one or two motifs here or there, and I really like that. It's a very good experience, I think a lot of people are going to like this. I think that anyone who sees this is probably going to like it. Super fan, little fan, complete stranger to the franchise, you will find something to enjoy in this. And not only am I aware of the rhetoric that live actions get, also I totally am on board with the majority of them, but this one really does just get it. And I really do like that. If anyone was going to get it, I'm so glad it's How to Train Your Dragon. I am so glad. So, my final spoiler-free recommendation is absolutely go see this. And if you have, and if you do, either come back or just write in the comments what you thought. Try to keep it spoiler-free, or just mark that you're writing a spoiler, because this is the spoiler-free review. If this gets enough traction and you guys want to hear me do a spoiler-ridden review, I will just do a spoiler review right out the gate. So just let me know. Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe I'll see it again that time. Who knows? But until then, thank you again. Subscribe, please. Like if you liked it. And let me know your thoughts if you like this movie. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Oh, and say goodnight to Chance. He's sleeping over there.